All right.
So you want to take a sip?
Yes.
This is your Gucci cup.
Okay.
Hey everybody, it's Maia here, back with the Regular People Podcast. On the Regular People Podcast, we are highlighting life stories to show that none of us are really ordinary at all. And we all are on different walks of life and have stories that make us who we are, and whether they're good or bad. And today we are exploring Tia. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good.
All right.
Alright, so before we get started, I like to start off with an icebreaker so you can get comfortable on the show.
All right. Is it comfortable?
Yeah. I'm sorry. You are so funny to me. Okay. So if you were to create a slogan for your life, what would it be?
A slogan for my life.
Mm-hmm.
As cliche as it sounds, I'm going to say live every day to the fullest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's easier said than done.
It's much easier said than done.
But that's a good one. Mine would be, I don't know. It would be, let me think. Fuck it. No, I'm just That's my slogan.
I like that one. Yeah, fuck it. I'll take that one.
Exactly. All right, so I'm gonna jump right on in. So the first question I'm gonna ask, these are questions I ask everybody, and these are questions, they can be how it is negative or positively. It's just like however direction you want to take it.
Okay.
And this is a mental health podcast, so you don't have to talk about mental health, but the questions I have are geared to get to know you and your brain a little better.
Okay.
All right. So, who are you to the outside world? So, like, how do people view, when they see Tia, what do you think people say when they look at Tia?
God, it would depend on who you ask.
Okay. But go over all of it, because we want to know.
I would think people would say that I am loyal, quirky, fun, a little silly.
Okay.
Organized. Yeah, very detailed. Yeah.
Okay.
Free spirit.
I can
a hippie
see that.
too. Like, you
A
know,
hippie?
Yeah, that's how I am. Truthfully, if I could live in my true spirit, I would just be barefoot, flowing dresses.
Well, we'd be together on
yeah,
that one.
butterflies. Yeah, so.
That's good. I can see that. That's good things, because I know some people would say people view them in a bad way, or so everything you said is pretty much good.
Well,
So I think they're good.
I mean,
you said organized. What else you said? Hippie, free spirited. Those are all good things.
Yeah.
So with that being said, who are you to yourself? Like,
wow.
how would you describe yourself?
Wow.
Because it can be two totally different things.
Yeah. Today I would describe myself as a child of, the Almighty. I'm a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister. I would say a friend, a nurturer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, getting a little deeper, because I feel like what you said was still on the outside.
Okay.
So, like, how would you describe your personality, like, yourself? Is it the same as how the outside world see it? Because if so, that's a really good thing.
No, not all. No. I can be mean.
Okay.
I had to learn tact. My dad used to tell me when I was really little that, I had to learn how to, watch what I say. Like everything you think, you can't just say. And it took me a really long time to learn how to control that. So
it probably you would say you're blunt.
Very blunt.
Honest.
Honest. Yeah, very blunt and honest. Yeah, I would definitely say that. And that's something that, I want to be, but it's hard to control. It's either here or there.
Yeah.
For me, it's no in between a lot of times.
That's a good thing, because a lot of people sugarcoat stuff or just, like, aren't honest with themselves.
Yeah.
So it's good that pretty much how you feel on the inside reflects on the
Yeah.
outside. It's not two totally different
I would
things.
say so.
So that's good. That's really good. All right, so okay, so just so I feel like our childhood really makes us who we are, and it's everything that we are about stems from who our childhood,
Right.
like how we grew up. So describe your childhood for me.
I had a really, really good childhood. 2-parent household, brother. Well, let me just say this: my family is a blended situation. So, my mother remarried when I was very young. So my stepfather raised me, but that's my dad.
Yeah.
I knew my biological father, but he was just kind of in and out of my life. So we really didn't have, a really good relationship. And then when we started to make one, he died. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so that was kind of unfinished.
And
but,
what age was that?
oh my God, 30.
Oh,
my
so you were
30s.
older.
Yes, I was
Okay,
older.
cool.
I mean, we still, like I said, we tried for years, but it's just, I was in a space, he was in a space. We just kind of never kind of got there together at the same time. It was always just kind of hit or miss. So that part, I will say, did affect me. But on the other side, my mom, and my dad created a really good, loving, environment. Yeah. So the only time I dealt with my biological father situation is when, I'd have to go back to our hometown, like to kind of see him and stuff. So, but I grew up here in Charlotte, and it was just a completely different world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you have like others? I know you said you have brothers. Do you have like sisters that you grew up with?
So that's another funny situation. So my mom worked in inner city. She worked at this place called Greenville Recreation Center. And so it was a really big community, and, she just loved kids, and kids were always in and out of our homes. And so, I always wanted like a big sister, because I was, the big sister. I just had this little brother that was annoying. And so one day she brought this girl home and was like, "You want a big sister?" Here she is.
Gotcha.
And so we grew up together. And so I do have a sister that everyone, here in Charlotte knows is my sister. And so we grew up together. And then from that, she has a brother and then another brother. So I've got like a combination of like god brothers, and we don't have like those titles, but those are just my brothers. Those are my sisters. So I don't believe in, family just being of a biological or DNA nature.
Right.
Family is, is love, and it's people who you connect with, and you just kind of, grow and share memories together. So
you had a
so I have a
very
lot of brothers and
balanced
sisters.
childhood. It shows.
Yeah.
So that's
thank
really
you.
good.
My mother would be happy.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna watch this too.
She will.
She's very supportive. All right. So, what is one of the most prominent turning points in your life?
Whoa.
And this can be something that was positive or negative.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna
I know we have
tell my
many.
age. I was
We
gonna
have
say
many.
that. Yeah, we have many, but I can definitely think of the turning point in my life.
Okay.
Um,
The turning
yes.
point.
And it's, I was very active in high school. Went to college. Like every parent, they have expectations of their children, to go off and to be successful. And then as children, teenagers, you think you know what you know. Girls, we fall in love, and we chase love, and so I went off to college, and I wanted to be active just like I was in high school. I cheered, and homecoming, all those things. So I had been going to tryouts the entire week, at Fayetteville State, and my cousin, who is 6 months younger than I, she was coming for a college visit to Charlotte. Now at the time, my boyfriend wasn't in school, but he was in Charlotte. So she's like, "We're going home for going to Charlotte for the weekend. Do you want to go?"
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "Well, okay." But I knew I had these tryouts at 6 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah. And this is at Fayetteville State.
This is at Fayetteville State.
Okay.
So I asked my aunt, I'm like, will we be back on Sunday by 6? And she said, "Well, yeah, we should." And I said, "No, can you assure me that we'll be back?" And she said, "Well, yeah, we should be back by 6. Everything in me said, "Don't go. Do not go home. Do not go home. Do not go home." But that teenager in me wanted to see
listen.
my boyfriend,
Yeah.
So I went home, and Fayetteville at the time from Charlotte was a 3-hour drive. So I'm looking at the clock, and we're not leaving at 12 o'clock.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, we have to, are we leaving? 1 o'clock, we're not leaving. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I've missed tryouts.
You missed the tryout.
I missed tryouts. So,
Dang.
we get back, to Fayetteville, and, at that point, I know the type of person I am. I have to be involved in school to be successful,
Yeah.
and so I missed that. So that was, a turning point where, kind of like depression, which I didn't know was depression, kind of started to sit in. So then now I'm running back and forth, sneaking back and forth to Charlotte from Fayetteville, and maybe 6 months later.
Because you weren't really involved in
I
school,
wasn't
you didn't
involved.
have really anything to do with your extra time.
Nope, and then, 6 months later, I was pregnant.
Wow. Oh, because you missed that tryout.
I missed that tryout.
Well, you could say that, but I do think that things happen because.
And I do agree.
And if you would have made the tryouts, you may have still gotten pregnant.
And I do agree with
Yeah.
that. And I will say that even in that situation, at 19, having my son was the best thing that happened for me, because it then turned my whole life around, and I knew that I was living for more than just me.
Yeah.
So, yes, school, cheering, being involved, all of that, would have given me that drive, but he gave me that same purpose and that same drive. So it still worked out, but I just know that at that point, life did take a turn for me. I did not, do the college experience like I had envisioned or my parents had envisioned for me. I became a mother. And then community college became, the reality, and working and trying to balance, life and motherhood and all of that. So
I have a question based off of that.
Yes.
So I know for a fact that many girls get pregnant in high school, in college. So how did you say, like, what helped you balance the school mom life and while being young? Like, how did you get through that?
Do you know my mother?
Yeah. So you had help, lots of help.
Absolutely, I had help, but then I also, she just has a level of expectation, and I love her, and I think she's a wonderful person. I just never really wanted to disappoint her. I just always wanted to make sure that she, and my dad were proud. But more specifically, she was proud because, I just watched her. I watched her, pour into, other girls who had less, and they became so successful, and and did so many things. So I didn't want to be that disappointment with all the resources that I had. Like, I just didn't want to be that disappointment. So it was hard, but I fought through many Friday nights, Blockbuster and a kid. So
that's good, because I know like a lot of girls do not have that support when they're having children young. So it's just like the fact that you were able to get through that and finish school and, raise a beautiful son that's, a really good person. That's great that you were able to get through that. So this question is kind of similar, but it's slightly different. So what is one of the most valuable life lessons you've learned? And how did you learn it? It can, if it's the same thing, that's fine, but.
I think the most valuable lesson I've learned is to be truthful and honest to myself. And that means at no cost to anyone else, but to be as truthful and honest, to myself, so that I'm happy.
That's a good one.
And that I'm at peace, because it took me a long time, to get there. I'm going to tell my age, I'm 46 years old, and.
You look great.
It just took a long time. It took life, it took hurt, it took some L's, it took some wins, but
them L's.
But those L's, I'm telling you,
come back from them.
That's where you really learn who you are. You learn, what you're capable of, and I'm at a point now where I am not going to sacrifice my peace for anyone.
So at what age would you say you, like, I don't know if you, I would say, what age did you learn to master that? Or felt like you had it down packed?
Today, years old. No, I mean, honestly.
Recently,
yeah.
Okay,
I mean, the last.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the last, it's so crazy. Like the last 6 years of my life have been like the most amazing. You know, I met an incredible guy. You know, fell in love, got married. But then I lost, you know, a lot. Like we both lost a lot in finding that love. But we've pushed through. And, you know, I always say like love wins, but it really, you know, it does. But that starts with self-love, you know. I mean, starting with understanding that, you know, you may take some L's, you know, you may lose some people, but, you know, if you can sleep peacefully at night knowing that you've done everything that you can to try to communicate or, you know, try to be a better person, I mean, that's, you know,
that's amazing that you like learned to master that now, because I know people, it's no age that you can just, that people learn to love themselves. Like, I feel like at every point of your life, different people learn to love themselves at different ages.
Right.
Like for somebody, they can have no problems with doing that at 10.
Right.
And some people, they don't figure that out till they're 60, you know?
Yeah.
So that's good that you were able to.
And I wouldn't say master because it's a daily process, you know. I mean, there are days
but you're
where I'm
aware.
just like, I'm like, you know, can't nobody fuck me, you know. And then there are days when I literally, you know, have to, you know, go to the closet and just, you know, just be there, you know, and just kind of get it together and then come back out, because at the end of the day, when you step out, you know, into this world, like, you know, you gotta protect you. You gotta be, you know, on it to take what's out here. So
yeah, I get that. So we're gonna move along.
Okay.
Walk me through.
Oh gosh.
So, like I said, this is why we want to get to know you, because I feel like us as people, we don't relate to each other. Like, especially now with social media and all of that, like all we're looking at is everybody's highlights in their life. And people, I feel like people can't feel like they can relate to each other. Everybody feels like, oh, they got this going on, I don't, or you know, whatever. So I just want a podcast where people can relate and like show that even no matter what stage somebody is in, like we all have things that we all like, similar things that we've been through.
Right.
So these are just something that's relatable, you know. So walk me through a memorable moment in your life that changed you as a person.
Memorable moment in my life.
It could be good or bad. It can be something small or it can be something big. Just.
Oh my gosh. God, okay, let me. I'm trying to think.
Time.
That's so
no
funny.
Pressure. No pressure.
I'm trying to think. Okay, because we're talking about like mental health and stuff too.
I mean, don't even stick to mental health.
No,
like,
I'm just trying to think like
spirituality. It could be physically. It could
there we go. See, you had to. Okay, there we go. All right, you had to bring it out.
But all of that sums to, you know.
Yes. Okay.
Your thinking.
I have a memorable moment.
Okay.
All right. So, about 3 years ago, right, I was probably like 80 pounds heavier. Yeah, right. So, I saw a picture of me with a group of friends. And I had to take a double take. I was like, who is that? Because I didn't recognize myself.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I did not recognize myself. So I made a point at that moment that I was going to try to do something. So there was a girl that used to work with me, she's a young girl. But anyway, she's, you know, nice shape. But she walked by my office one day, and I saw her, and I'm like, okay. But then, like, the second day, I saw her, and I'm like, damn, she lost weight. Like, what the hell is she doing?
Yeah.
So then I called her, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, you know, I've just been boxing. And I'm like, boxing where? I want to, like, take me.
Right.
And so she took me to this class, and literally, it changed my life. Like, I just started taking this boxing class, and it was good for my anger and aggression, and just, you know, I would just envision people and situations, and I would take it out on this bag, and the weight just started like falling off. Wow. And then my husband is like a chef by degree, but he cooks all the time. And so I got into this whole keto thing where I was just eating like meat and vegetables. And then one day I took a bite of a chicken wing, and it did
Was
something.
it for you?
Oh my God, it did something. And so it just meat went out the, I stopped eating beef, a long time ago, but then just meat went out the door. So once I stopped that, I eat fish every now and then, but it just fell off. So that was really a memorable moment because I stuck to something. It was hard. Like, I would cry because there were days I didn't want to go to the gym. We're social and active people. My husband is always out and about, and I became that fat girl, and I didn't like to get dressed. It was emotional. But when I took control over it, I was just like, I'm gonna do this, and I just stuck with it. And I'm telling you, I melted away.
So you basically told us the blueprint for losing weight.
Well, that's what worked for me.
Yeah, but what motivated on those days where you crying, you don't want to go to the gym, or just did not want to do it? What motivated you to go to the gym or work out that day?
All right, so I'm gonna be very honest. So my husband and I, we are very competitive, and I needed blunt and honesty. Yeah, and he is very blunt and honest to Yeah, he's very blunt, but I needed that, and I would tell him, you gotta tell me, when I'm shut up, leave me alone, you gotta be no, get your ass up.
Because I was about to say, you're better than me. I would be listen, I told you I don't want to go.
No, but I needed that push, in the beginning, because, at that time, you talk about self-love, I'm just as much as I didn't want to be that, oh yeah, you got him now, and now it's just you just got to deal. And then plus I didn't feel good, about myself. That's not who I am. It's not, it's just, it just wasn't me.
You literally had to just change your mindset.
I did. I really had to. And I had to talk, I talked so much shit to myself, and I took pictures, I took pictures and videos every day. And then when it clicked, I finally just said, okay, one day at a time. And then I saw something that Steph Curry said. He said, train your mind and your body will follow. And so I just kept saying,
a key to life.
Yeah, really, so I just started taking it literally one day at a time. So in my journal, and then I started, putting it on Instagram, and I would literally week 1, day 1, and then I would done, and then, week 1, day 2, done. And I knew that I had to at least get through 4 days a week. I didn't care what that looked like. I didn't want to hear that, oh, you got to work out on Mondays. You can never miss a Monday. No, whatever. I just, 4 days. So I just held myself accountable to those 4 days, and then it just worked,
So everybody, accountability.
Yes, accountability.
Changing your mindset. And I'm talking to myself too when I say this. I'm not preaching to anybody. Accountability, change your mindset, and what's the word too?
Consistency.
Consistency and doing it.
Yes.
I can't think of the word for it. For just doing it.
Just do it.
Okay, I can't do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Nike.
Yeah. There you go.
They weren't lying. Alright, so this is my last and final question. What makes you different from the rest of the world, in your opinion?
Oh, wow. I am just me. I learned early that really my only competition is me. I can admire, I can aspire, but I really don't compete with anybody. When I have tunnel vision, so everything else could be going on, but when I'm focused, I'm just focused. So, I'm
That's
just
something I need to master.
Yeah, I embrace my quirks. I know that I have, quirks. I'm, I just am who I am, and it's okay. I'm okay with that. Those who love me, and those who don't, it's okay too.
Yeah, it's a balance, right?
It's a balance.
Alright, so thank you for coming on the show.
Oh my God, thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, so from Tia we learned she had come from a great family, very balanced, went to school, had a child early, got married, and learned so many lessons along the way. And I feel like a lot of your stories can really help different types of people. So you really said some gems today. So I hope when they listen, they really listen, So thank you, and we love you. Alright, and that's the end of the show.
Yes.
I bet you're not alone. It's okay though, just keep on striving for the life you want.